I'm gonna solve your concrete candle making problems by creating a concrete candle from start to finish, from mixing the concrete to wicking the candle. By doing so, it will help you on your candle making journey so you don't have to feel completely lost when you're just starting out. Let's go. Hi, my name is Jay Catalano. All the links to all the products I'm using will be on my website. Link is in the description. Go check those out. Put on your respirator and let's take 380 grams of Cementol and place that in a mixing bowl. I'm going to be using Supra Black Pigment from Glow Marble to color my concrete candle jar. The idea behind adding pigment is adding up to 5% of your mixture to add the necessary color. I've decided to only use 3% of Supra Black because this stuff is powerful. Now, what is 3% of 380? Ooh, I know. Wyoming? Is it 11.4? Yes. Now that we know 3% of 380 is 11.4, let's round that down to 11 and add in 11 grams of Supra Black Pigment to our mixing bowl and thoroughly mix these two together. Now that everything is mixed nicely, I'm going to add in my water content. There is a 4:1 Cementol to water ratio, so we now need to find out what 1 part of 389 mixture is. So if we need to find out what 1 part of a total of 4 is, then we need to find out what 1/4 or 25% of 389 is. So let's do the math. 389 times 25% or 0.25 is 97.25. Let's round that down to 97. I'm going to add 97 grams of water to my mixing bowl and I'm going to mix that up thoroughly so that there are no lumps or clumps in my mixture when I pour. Now, some people like to say you need a pancake-like consistency. Who wants concrete pancakes? I don't eat pancakes. I drink smoothies every morning, and so that is why I like to say you need a smoothie-like consistency. Now, don't drink this stuff. Okay, everything is all mixed up, and I'm going to add my mixture to my silicone mold that is already sitting on my vibrating machine. In addition, I have a lid for that mold that I'm going to fill as well. Now, if you don't know why I use a vibrating machine to add my mixture, let me explain. When you mix concrete, you don't want any air bubbles in it because those bubbles weaken the concrete, make it less strong, and unless you're going for the weathered concrete look, can be unsightly if you have more than just a few. So, to get rid of those pesky little bubbles, I use a vibrating machine. Okay, now that I'm done pouring, I'm going to wait 3 hours to demold my Supra Black concrete candle jar with a lid. 3 hours has passed and now it's time to demold my Supra Black concrete candle jar. I like to take my time demolding as it is still drying and I don't want to run the risk of it cracking. I like to think of my newly demolded concrete candle jars like newborn babies. They need time to grow up, or in this case, cure, before I can use it for its intended purposes. Before I briefly discuss curing, some people might need to water bathe their concrete vessel before they let it cure. Now, don't bathe with your concrete, that's just stupid and really hard to do when you're washing your hair. Now, not that I've ever done that before. In case you didn't know, concrete hardens due to hydration and not because it dries. So do you need to water bathe your concrete candle jars? Only you can answer that, but take a look at this video right here to learn all about it so you can decide what to do. And for what it's worth, I do not water bathe my concrete jars, but I do have to let them cure like everyone else. How long do we have to let them cure? Well, it takes up to 28 days for concrete to fully cure, but here's a trick. If you weigh your concrete candle jar daily, starting from the minute after you demold it, you will notice that there comes a time that the weight of your concrete candle jar stabilizes and no longer loses water weight. Once that happens, you're ready to seal them. And for me, that's usually on the 3rd day. So I'm going to wait 3 days to let my concrete candle jar cure, and then I'm going to seal it. Okay, 3 days has passed and this jar is ready to be sealed. Now, if you're confused about which sealer to use, then I highly suggest you watch this video here. That will help you out. However, for me, I use Earth Safe Finishes, which is a sealer that I can just dip, wipe, and let dry. This stuff is awesome. All I have to do is pour it in a container, roll my concrete jar inside for a minute, and then wipe it off. And once I'm done, I let it dry for 48 hours. It's that easy, and I do not do this process more than once. Love it. Okay, 48 hours has passed. It's now time to add a wick, wax, and fragrance oil. Let's wick our candle jar. The first thing I'm going to do is use a little rubbing alcohol on my pre-tabbed wick to clean off any oily deposits so that it will stick to the wick sticker. Then, once that dries, I'm going to place my wick onto the wick sticker. Then I'm going to place my wick centering tool in my concrete candle jar and add my wick. And in case you were wondering, I print my own wick centering tools with my 3D printer. If you don't have a 3D printer, I highly suggest you think about getting one. I print all kinds of candle things that most people have to purchase, and I print them for a small fraction of what it would cost. I print wick centering tools, wick bars, wickless testing centering devices, silicone mold prototypes, candle molds, candle jar lids, cylinder boxes to make silicone molds, and mold supports. And if you think, but I don't know anything about 3D printers, let me tell you this, if this blonde guy can do it, trust me, you can do it too. However, if you don't want to invest in a 3D printer or don't have one, I'll show you a great place where you can buy wick centering tools. Link is in the description. For today's candle, I'm going to be using the Aroma Light 120 wick to wick my candle jar. I love these wicks. Yes, I said love. Why? They are made from 100% natural cellulose fibers, self-trimming, and they don't curl when they burn like some other wicks do. Now, from time to time, I use wicks that curl and have nothing against a curling wick. But, and this is a big but, if you can get an erect wick that works for you, you hit the jackpot. Am I allowed to say erect wick? Get your mind out of the gutter. What I mean is, wicks will curl when they burn, which causes wax to remain on one side of the candle jar. While this doesn't bother me too much, it's awesome to have a wick burn without curling, which causes a much more even burn. The aroma wicks burn in an upright position. And that's why I say I love the aroma wicks. Now, after I place that in, I am going to center and stabilize my wick with my wick bar that I printed on my 3D printer, so we can get ready for candle wax and fragrance oil. And for today's candle creation, I'm using virgin coconut soy luxury wax, better known as Cocoa Soy EC26, from Hive and Honey Candle Company. Now, there are many places to get your candle wax from, but you are doing yourself a disservice if you aren't checking out Hive and Honey. Angie was kind enough to send me some cocoa soy wax for this video. Thank you, Angie. She is awesome. She also has competitive pricing and very reasonable shipping rates, not these ridiculous shipping rates that you see flying all over the place. Like the ones where you buy a feather for 62 cents, but the shipping costs $4,522.23 and will arrive in 47.5 weeks. And if that isn't enough, she's a beekeeper. Yes, a beekeeper. I mean, any woman who can keep her own bees is a woman you have to shop from. That's what I always say. So go check her out and let her know that Jay from Up Vibe sent you. Now, I already know how much wax goes into this candle jar because I calculated that amount using the info in this video right here. Go check that out if you need help figuring that out. I know I need a total of 250 grams of wax and fragrance oil combo to add to this candle jar, and I use a total of 9% of fragrance oil, so what is 9% of 250? The answer is 22.5. I'm going to round that number down to 22. You can round it up to 23 if you'd like, but I think over time my bank account will appreciate that I rounded down to save a few pennies here and there. You dig? Okay, so let's subtract 22 from 250. That gives us a total of 228. So I know I need 228 grams of candle wax and 22 grams of fragrance oil to blend together and add into this candle jar. And for today's video, I'm using a nice summer fragrance called Baja Cactus. I mean, I gotta start preparing for the summer. Okay, so let's warm up the old wax melter and measure out 228 grams of candle wax. Here we are. Now I'm gonna add this wax to the wax melter and let it do its thing. My goal is to heat my wax to approximately 225 degrees. I say approximately because this wax melter is a bit strong. I can put it on a low setting and she still gets hot, so let's heat it to 225 degrees. Okay, here we are, 225 degrees. Now I'm going to add this to my pouring pitcher and immediately add my 22 grams of fragrance oil. I'm going to add it immediately because the EC26 wax seems to work better with fragrance oil at higher temperatures. Then I'm going to stir this up for 30 seconds to a minute and pour my candle wax and fragrance oil combo at about 190 degrees. I do not want it to cool down too much. I find to achieve smoother tops, a higher pour temperature is necessary. And by the way, that does not apply to every wax, just some, like the EC26. And there we are. Now, I'm going to let this cool down and harden for a few hours so I can trim my wick. A few hours have passed, so I'm going to remove my wick bar and trim my wick with my trusty wick trimmers. Again, links to all these products are on my website. Link is in the description. Voila! And there you have it. We made a concrete candle jar from start to finish. Woo, man, this smells great. I can smell the summer. It's coming. It's coming. I'm so excited. Can you feel it? And take a look at these videos that are popping up now. They're going to help you on your candle making journey. Until next time, thanks for watching. Ciao.